Hi, my name is Ross House, and for my three-course meal for Multicultural Foods with Mr. Trupiano Fifth Hour, I will be making guacamole and chips, Tostitos Original, restaurant style, and guacamole. And here's the ingredients I'll be using for the guacamole. We have purple onion, cilantro, avocados of course, and vine tomatoes. And we'll be adding in some cayenne pepper and some salt into that mix as well. After that, the main course will be teriyaki salmon. This is the marinade for the salmon, along with broccoli, steamed broccoli with cheese. And we'll also be having chocolate milk. The Nesquik is in the cupboard, but it will be chocolate and it will be milk. And lastly, we'll be making sweet potato souffle with these sweet potatoes and that water boiling already. Some pepper, some marshmallows, which is my favorite part, some brown sugar, some Kairos syrup, and yeah, let's go. Okay, right now I'm cleaning the sweet potatoes to put them into the pot that's already heating up, and they're gonna be steamed for a bit. And I'm cleaning the other vegetables too. Alright, so basically this cleaning of the vegetables took a while because there's a ton of cilantro and there's like legit dirt on it. There's mad cilantro, but it's done. I had it in a strainer, I took it out, put it there to dry along with everything else. Looks kind of messy, but there's a method to the madness. Okay, now I'm actually boiling the sweet potatoes. I'm adding a little bit more water because there wasn't enough water in there and stuff. And I'm moving some of the vegetables over, starting to cut the avocados and getting the pits out, show it to the camera for a little bit. Continuing, and that's all of them, we're good. Okay, I just put the avocados into the bowl to be mashed, but I still have a couple vegetables to put in along with it. I'm now getting the onion, which I didn't cry. I didn't cry when I cut the onion, but I came very close. It's a purple onion, and we're gonna mince it, dice it a little bit, whatever we can to break it into smaller pieces. As you can see, took a while. Maybe cut them a little too fine, but it's just doing my best, honestly. And then after that, I'll add that into the mix with the avocados. Right about. No, I gotta wash my hands. Oh, you're right there. I'm doing it. I'm putting it in to the mix. And after that's done, I'm gonna clean that off. It's dirty. And dry my hands. And now I'm cutting the tomatoes. Tomatoes are being cut. And I gotta remove the meat from the tomato, because if you add it to the guacamole, if you add the meat to the guacamole, I mean, it will be too mushy, and that doesn't taste or feel well. It's a bad texture. It's happened before. And then this knife stopped cutting, so here I'm gonna try and sharpen it. Doesn't work at all, actually. It's just old knives, not sharp anymore. So my dad comes in, dad goes away. I gotta get another knife, and this knife is super good at cutting, and it works perfectly. I dice up the tomatoes, and then yeah. Okay, now I'm shifting my focus to the salmon, which I had already rinsed off, and then I had it drying on some paper towel. My dad just crawled through the camera again, if you saw him. 5 points extra credit. And then I have to cut it in half because the entire salmon was too big and it didn't fit in the container I had it in. So the marinade is already on there, so my hands get like a bunch of teriyaki on it, but it's alright. And then I have to cut the skin of the salmon, which is super hard to cut, and it took me forever, but I got it just then, finally, like, job done. And now I have to put some spices onto it, some seasoning, and that'll just go right in with the marinade, or the teriyaki sauce that I added onto it. And that's some salmon rub and some garlic, so tastes great, but I have to let it sit for a bit. And later I put it in the refrigerator, but now I'm cutting cilantro. I'm removing the leaves from the stems, and that takes forever, but adds a very good taste to the guacamole, if I do say so myself. And once I finish doing that, I'll start mincing those up, and yeah.
Everybody got their homies. Said everybody got their homies. Yeah. Okay. My mind is yours.
Alright, finish up cutting the cilantro. Now I'm grabbing a metal to mash up the guacamole. But you don't want it to be like very smooth, you want it to be somewhat chunky still. And again, slowing down a little bit just to show, and I'm about to show, to the best of my ability, I'm about to try and show my my mashing or my mixing of the guacamole to the camera, but it doesn't look very good because you can't see and this camera's kind of far away. Yep, that's it. It looks good like in person. But yeah, I'm gonna add in the cilantro. I just added in some tomatoes, and now I'm adding in the cilantro, and everything's in there now, and I'm gonna mash it up a little bit more. Might have mashed it a little too much, but it tastes the same, still tastes good. And adding a little bit of salt to taste. Usually just about 2 dashes of salt is fine. And then I'll just put that in there for later, for the Tostitos. That's done, guacamole's done. A little more salt, a little bit more. Okay, guacamole's done now. We're gonna put 1/4 cup of butter into this, along with some carrot syrup and some brown sugar. And the sweet potatoes are done boiling or steaming. And we're about to put the broccoli into some boiling water. This is heating up still. And yeah.
Franklin on top of that. I see a new watch, I'm copping that. I'm out there looking to kill, and I feel that. 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 She on the phone, she wanna me, and I feel that.
Okay, now I'm skinning the potatoes, the sweet potatoes that were just boiling, and I'm gonna put those into a measuring cup. And I'm supposed to put roughly or approximately 2 cups of that into the recipe, the sweet potato souffle recipe. So I eyeballed that, put that into a cup to be mixed later. Now I'm adding some milk and some eggs into it together, and now off to the right I'm mixing it. It's thoroughly mixed, and you can't see it, but I'm putting it into a container, and then I'm putting I'm putting it into a container, actually you can't see it. And then I'm adding in the brown sugar, butter, and carrot syrup that I boiled earlier into it. I'm pouring that on the top, and I already mixed half of it into it directly, and I'm putting the rest on top of it to act as a kind of a layer between that and the marshmallows as I'm putting those on super fast. And showed it to the camera a little bit, and it's ready to go in. And it's in, and now I can put the salmon in as well. And we just have to wait now for the final product.